Ooh, the voice was bad this morning. The voice was very, very bad this morning on our first Saturday morning show of the season, of the year. We are back doing Saturday morning shows. LSU football, there's no post-game shows anymore for LSU football. So we are back to doing our Saturday morning shows. We'll tell you what all that entails, but AYS, coffee with AYS and breakfast with AYS. So we'll be doing it until about September when LSU football kicks off. We'll be doing the show every Saturday morning from here on out for the next couple of months. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. If it's your first time joining us on a Saturday morning, we'll just go ahead and get the rules out of the way. I get to pretty much all of your comments on a Saturday morning. We really are just kind of more relaxed. We chill, we talk, we hang out. There's nothing that's really too serious, but we talk about it and we get some things done. Sometimes, what's funny though is we've broken some news on a Saturday morning show, which it's been kind of which was kind of nuts, but nevertheless, it is the Saturday morning show all the way from January until September. So every Saturday morning for the next 9 months, relatively speaking, for the next 9 months, it's going to be very, very, very fun. Very, very, very fun. But, all right, well, listen, you can't come in and out like you did yesterday. Go find Mama. Come here. Come tell them hello, and then you got to go find Mama. Come on. Come on. Come on. What you got? What is that? Dinosaur? What's the dinosaur say? What's the dinosaur say?
Green.
Yeah, it's green. What does he say?
Hi, dinosaur. Hi, dinosaur. Hi, dinosaur. Hi, dinosaur.
All right. We got to get a show done. You come on, go. Dinosaur is what he said, but he's trying to say dinosaur. All right, okay. No more breaks from the little man, but he did, as Craig Schilling said. Naked J Bird needs to fire us up this morning with some LSU. Well, there you go. He's got a sinosaur this morning. Anyway, so we'll get to all the comments. Look, we're going to change up the. I said we're going to do a $75 gift card giveaway for everybody that subscribes on YouTube. We're going to change that. We're going to change some things around that. We're going to give a little bit more money. And I could be talked out a little bit more money too, but we're going to hit it. We're going to try to hit another goal on that as well. We're going to try to hit another goal on that as well. So, yeah. So let's do this. Let's get to some comments this morning, and then we'll get started. Robert Plazon says, "Good morning, AYS family." Craig Schilling says, we are live. That we are. Kenny says, "Big game with Tennessee. Go Tigers." He has a very big game this morning. Today, 5:00. Ladies play at 4:00 too, but a very big game. We'll talk about that as well. Danny Girl says, "Waking up, having some coffee, and listening to Blake yell on Saturday mornings is a great way to start my weekend." Well, historically, I don't yell on Saturday mornings. It's too damn early. It's too damn early for me to yell on Saturday mornings. Kenny said, "Ask about the UGA wide receivers coach to LSU." We'll touch on that. I'll be the first thing I talk about once we come out of here. So let's do this. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. If you're on Facebook, there's about 107 of you. Do us a favor by hitting the like button. Share to some social media groups. Share to your own social media pages. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook as well. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you're listening to us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Pound that like. Everybody hit that like. There is about 53, 54, 55 of you that's currently watching us live. Do us a favor by hitting that like button and hitting the subscribe and notification bell if you haven't done so already. I'm gonna tell you right after this break what we're gonna do with the YouTube gift card giveaway. If you're listening to us on the audio podcast side, don't forget to hit the subscribe and give us a rating as well. We would greatly, greatly appreciate that as you do that. All right, let's pay some bills, and then we'll get started. None better than good friends over at GM Varno & Sons betonline.ag. Guys, with 64 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to servicing your vehicle than GM Varno & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992. Or tell them your good friend over at Blake Ruffino over at AAYS sent you on by. Go see him over at 2500 Florida Boulevard as well in Denham Springs. And we've been talking about and mentioned about our good friends over at betonline.ag. Guys, there's a lot of basketball games today. LSU taking on Tennessee is a big one. What do you want to bet on that? But the one place that we all know, doesn't matter who you're going to bet on, is the best place to do it, though, is betonline.ag. Use the AYS Believe 50 podcast tab, and you'll get a 50% welcome bonus. So you deposit $100, they'll give you $50 right off the top. $50 if you deposit $100. It's absolutely amazing. You can use their money that they give you on that deposit. That's betonline.ag. Betonline.ag. All right. Yeah, we normally don't yell on Saturday mornings. But yeah. Sometimes I have. Sometimes I've woken up early so pissed off I come in here and start yelling, but not this morning. Mr. Tony Weaver. What's up, T? He says, what dinosaur type of morning? Yeah, it's always a dinosaur type of morning. Bro, he went from 0 to 100 real quick, meaning my son Ben, on the dinosaurs. And it like he says and does some things that brother is so funny. He does say dinosaurs sometimes, but he when he gets really excited and he starts speaking really fast, he goes, "Daddy's dinosaur." And bro, I every time it gets me every time. I just start laughing. I can't help it. But you know what he does scare my ass sometimes because I don't hear him. I won't hear him come up from behind me, and I'll be sitting in a recliner doing something, for the show, and he'll come up behind me and he'll go, "Rawr!" Scares the shit out of me, man. Scares the shit out of me. All right, we'll get to all your comments on Saturday morning, so let's go down and get it very quick. Kenny says wide receiver coach, UGA wide receiver coach to LSU. We talked about this Tuesday and we talked about this Monday. Cortez Hankton. Look, I will tell you from what I have been advised, nothing is finalized yet. Guys, you can't hold two contracts at once. Now you can have things in principle and things like that, but nothing's finalized on that deal yet. Not saying he's coming, not saying he's not coming. I think there's a good chance he does come. But what happens, and we're going to talk about, at the end of the show, we're going to talk about Alabama versus Georgia. Who do you see winning that football game? But, I mean, what happens if Georgia wins on Monday? Just because you're from Louisiana, it's hard to leave a national title, a national championship winner. Very hard. So we'll see. Daniel says, bright on Saturday. Let's do this. Yes, sir. Travis LeBlanc says, morning, y'all. Big game tonight. Let's pack the PMAC to the rafters again and help LSU beat Tennessee. Yeah, big game. LSU needs this win, man. They need to continue. And look, they're the front part of their schedule is a lot more difficult if you look at it than the back end. It's a lot more difficult up front. So if they start piecing some wins together, it's going to be really nice. Jonathan sends some stars via Super Chat. Thank you, sir. Steve and Charles, both on Facebook, send us a happy good morning. You two guys as well. Happy morning. Ty Boudreaux says, coffee and AYS, breakfast of champions. Yeah, I got to tell you, man, my breakfast of champion this morning was a homemade biscuit from my wife. And it's got like it's got like the layers, like you could peel the layers off. Dog, son. Bro, there ain't nothing on God's green planet that's better than the biscuits that have like the little layers on it. And you could just like peel them off. Dog. Soft. Softer than a baby's body. That biscuit is legit, boy. Is legit. P-Bam says, best damn talk show on social media. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Tasha Tibio says, hit that like and subscribe. Go Tigers. Yeah, and so we'll talk about that very quickly. So we are going to change the gift card giveaway rules here. I'm going to give a little bit more money. If you missed it, we're going to do a gift card giveaway for people got to subscribe this month, and it's for every subscriber. So what we're going to do is I need everybody that is and is not subscribed to go subscribe. We'll put your name in a drawing for $100 gift card giveaway, cash, whatever. You got to be subscribed to AYS. Everybody go subscribe. Our goal and the way that we do the drawing is if we get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So everybody that's not subscribed, or tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your granny that they need to go subscribe, and we'll put them into the drawing, and that way you can get $100 or $100 gift card giveaway. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go do it. Daniel sends a laughing emojis. Shannon Williams says, "Hey Ben." Yeah, that little boy is something. Blake on Facebook says, "So when does LSU start getting transfers?" Well, guys, you're technically in a dead period. You can't have any of these kids on campus now. You can give them offers, but we got to understand something. I think that we need to have a little bit of patience, right? Like, meaning, a lot of people keep asking the question about when is LSU going to do this? When is LSU going to do that? And I just keep telling people, like, bro, you're in a recruiting dead period. Sometimes people are going to want to come on campus before they start committing and wanting to come to your school. There's nothing wrong with that. But after the January 10th, or after the game Monday, the dead period's lifted and you can start having kids on campus. And I would assume you start getting more transfers. Let me say this too. Brian Kelly is not like Ed Orgeron. Ed would legitimately, a lot of times, rush to do things because out of panic and out of fear, Ed Orgeron would rush to do things. You're not going to get that with Brian Kelly. He's not going to be scared of doing things. He's not going to be, timid. He's going to, because he's got confidence in his own self. I'm going to be honest. Ed didn't really have a lot of confidence in himself. Ed would panic and freak out, and then make the fan base freak out and panic, and you're not going to get that with Brian Kelly. But I would say that you're going to start seeing that within the next couple of weeks, since his dead period is going to be lifted. Craig Schilling, since it's $9.99 via Super Chat on YouTube. Thank you, Craig. He says, let's bump up that gift card giveaway since it's $9.99. Yeah, and look, we'll continue to do it. I gotta be honest. If we continue to go up in the subscriber, I'm willing to go up to $500. Like, I'm not legitimately joking. So the more subscribers we get, the more that gift card giveaway goes. Like, if we get to 5,000 subscribers, I'll go up to 500 quickly. Now we're currently, like, if we double it, I'll go to 750. But we got to get there. We got to, I'm not going to, like, one time I did a $100 gift card giveaway. We got 17 people that subscribed. I ain't doing that again. We got to hit a goal here. I don't have a problem with giving people money and doing gift card giveaways, but I got to be honest. I ain't going to be doing that shit for free now. Meaning, like, we're going to have to hit a goal here. Craig Schilling says, AYS Mocha Loca Ya show. I remember that one. Marvin Mackey says, Blake, tell Ben to say gorilla. Yeah, he beats his chest. He goes, hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. We watched Tarzan on what do you call that? Disney Plus. And bro, every time a gorilla pops out of it, he just dude, it's funny. He starts, like, walking like him, bro. Like, what, and I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you, bro? Zachary Bro says he's a spitting image of you, man. Thanks. Brett Garafola says, good morning. Good morning, sir. Ron McQueen says, good morning from Georgia. Good morning, Ron. Michael says, I thought he was saying good morning, dad show. No, he was saying Sinosaur. Derek and Sheila Franklin. What's up, Derek? He says, you doing a great job, brother. Love listening to you on YouTube and Twitter Spaces. Yeah, we had I got to be honest. We've been having some epic Twitter Spaces too. Carl Dunn says, we are live. That we are. Pooh Bear says, good morning. Did you get you a cream pie this morning from Little Debbie? Yeah. Bro, Nick Saban eats cream pies. Lamar Williams, who was in the Twitter spaces last night, says, big pressure in the building. Yes, indeed. Oh, Danny Girl says, Pooh Bear, all the greats start with an oatmeal cream pie. Fire in your questions. Hashtag Ask Blake. You got any questions about what's going on? We'll talk about, we'll continue to talk about some basketball and football. We'll get to that. Just going to get to a lot of your comments here. Nookie says, cat head biscuits are greater than wampum biscuits. I don't look if they got layers on them biscuits, daddy's excited. I'm just letting you know. Like I'm just letting you know. Daddy, if it's got layers on them things, like daddy's pumped up. And look, I'm not a huge biscuit eater, like some of these Rudy Poos out here. But man, if they got layers to them, I'm gonna get it. Todd says, let's start an AYS NIL fund that everyone can contribute to. Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know. Lee says, hashtag Ask Blake, when do players report back on campus? I think it's like the midway through January. Yeah, midway through January. I think even Monday or Tuesday, some of them can start to report. Yeah, so not too long. Not too long. And look, you know, Brian Kelly's not going to be rushed on this shit. It should look, and we've been knowing this thing about Cortez Hankton. Guys, I said it Monday and Tuesday to be on the lookout for it, and then everybody freaks out. It's like what part of us saying it on a Monday or Tuesday show, and then you see a report and you freak out? I don't know. He's not going to be rushed. He's not going to be panicked. Aaron Adams says, man, I fell asleep in those Twitter spaces last night. Yeah, they're fun, but God, dog, they could be long. That's why I don't always like hosting them, man. Timmy Martin says, Blake, Bama had to transfer a running back from Georgia Tech practicing this week. There you go. Jahari Gibbs. But Timmy, that's one practice though, my brother. I mean that's a practice. And why do you need Miles Frazier practicing for 3 or 4 practices? It doesn't make any sense. You know, so was Eli Ricks. But some of these transfers, guys, I mean, it's not like LSU's in a much different situation than what Alabama is. Much different situation. But Eli Ricks nor Jahari Gibbs can play tomorrow. Now, we're going to get to the end of the show, and I'm going to ask you what you guys think about that game, and we'll run it down. Actually, you can start putting your comments in there. But, yeah. And look, I'm going to leave that one alone. Mike McCoy says, LSU man defeated UK in last seconds with steals and dunks. My team wins. Our team wins. They will defeat Tennessee. I hope that they can. I think that they can. Blake Press says, who on Facebook, who else is excited for baseball? I am. I'm excited to see what Jay Johnson can do. I think it's going to be fun to see what Jay Johnson and staff and those players can do. Look, I love Paul Maneri, but I think it was you know, I don't think he adapted so well. And look, let me say this now that Paul's not in that building anymore. Guys, stop with the Paul Maneri and Les Miles comparison. It's not even comparable or capable or comparable. I get some of the things that you're saying and how they did things and stuff, but guys, Paul Maneri is the winningest, bro. He legitimately took over as the winningest active head coach last year. The man's got over 1,000 wins in baseball. With all due respect, he runs circles around Les Miles as a coach. Stop it. I'm sorry. Let's call a spade here, bro. Carl Dunn says, do you see that LSU is hosting an NIL meeting for businesses? I saw that. We retweeted it. And for all of you that want to go to that NIL meeting, you need to go. But don't bitch and moan and complain about NIL deals and NIL this and NIL that, and LSU puts on something and you don't go. Okay? Don't do that. Lamar Williams says, has anyone gotten BK some crawfish yet? Well, if not, they're going to. Dion Blake says, what is this, a morning show? Absolutely. We Dion, we do morning shows all year round, unless it's football season, because we do the post-game shows. Tyson says, good morning, Blake. Good morning, Tyson. Robert Plaisance says, do you think Danny Lewis from Westgate, the tight end, gets an offer in a dead period because Denbrock will be his main recruiter? Absolutely. 1,000% I do. No, Ben, go find mama. Yeah, 1,000% I think Danny Lewis does. And I think Danny Lewis is one of those situations where people around here, ESPN, 247, and Rivals, have misrecruited him. I 1,000% believe that. And, guys, for one recruiting, sir, like, here's the thing that I ask all of you, okay, is if you had somebody evaluating some talent, and that person that evaluates the local talent here were to tell you that he hadn't seen the kid play ever, like has never seen the kid play live, would you trust his analysis? Because film, you can't break down film to give a star rating and a scout breakdown on a kid. You just can't. So, with all due respect to everybody in the recruiting services world, I think you do a good job. The problem with that is that when you don't lay eyes on a kid, okay, it's very tough for me to respect your decision or your scouting on a specific kid. I think Danny Lewis falls into the category of being a guy that's been misevaluated from recruiting services. I don't mean that in a wrong way, but it's just the truth. You pay for the service of a recruiting service. You pay the $10. Again, I have no issues with people that go behind paywalls. None whatsoever. But when you got a 5-star quarterback in this state and you never go watch him play, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, that's some baby back bullshit. You're paying that $10, and those guys that you're getting recruiting information from has never gone and watched Walker Howard play. How does that make you feel? Michael on YouTube says, sends us $10.99 via Super Chat. He says, I see Craig's $9.99 and I raise him $1. Let's get this party started. I'm telling you, bro, I'm not joking, and I might clip this. The more subscribers we get for this gift card giveaway, if we get over 3,000, 4,000, if we get to 5,000 subscribers on this gift card giveaway, you have my word, and I put in it on video. We did it all last year. You have my word. If we get to 5,000 subscribers, I will do a 500 gift card giveaway, 500 cash giveaway. I will do it. So tell everybody, go subscribe, go tell every LSU fan. The more subscribers we get, the more we will do this gift card giveaway. Blake says, Blake Prest says on Facebook, I think the game simply just passed him by. Absolutely. Dane Bergeron says Paul Maneri is a much finer man and coach than Les Miles. No doubt. Richard says, Blake, any names you hearing on the transfer in LSU for the transfer portal? Some, but not really. There's an offensive lineman I'm keeping my eyes on. There's a couple kids from Arkansas that have gone in the portal I'm keeping my eyes on from Louisiana. there's some guys I'm watching, but guys, I'm looking until the dead period's lifted and these guys start coming on visits. I think it's going to be really difficult for you to make a determination on who's coming and who's not. Pooh Bear says you can't win a natty if you get a haircut from Sport Cuts. Hashtag no bowl cuts. I don't disagree with that. Danny Girl says hashtag ask Blake any thoughts on a portal QB. I went and looked yesterday after Carter's video about it, and Cameron Ward looks to be like a good choice. Let me say this. Hold on. Okay. I just got a text about something about the. But I'll get to it in a minute. What was I saying? Oh, let me look. Here's the bad thing about this, and we're going to talk about this all the live long off season, okay? Which aggravates the piss out of me. Number one, we're going to have to go get a transfer quarterback in the portal. Like now, I'm seeing that the Northwestern safety Brandon Joseph, who a lot of people were asking me about last night, Brandon Joseph will be transferring to Notre Dame. So I mean, look. So there's a breaking news. Brandon Joseph is transferring to Notre Dame, the Northwestern safety. But look, I don't trust. I don't know. I don't feel like getting in the Miles Brennan debate today, but yeah, I think they got to go get one. With all due respect to everybody else, they got to go get one. It's not a shot at anybody. Jermaine Green says, ask Blake, you really think that if we get a QB out of the portal, out of the transfer portal, that a QB room will push out a QB? Yeah, I think it could, but look, man, I don't mean this in a wrong way. Unless Garrett Nussmeier is ready to go, then, which I don't believe he's ready to go, what are you going to do then? Garrett Nussmeier at the current moment is not ready to be a starter. It's not a shot at him. Sometimes it takes kids a little bit longer. Guys, Garrett Nussmeier's not ready to go. Now, does that mean that if he gets an entire offseason that he will be? Sure. But I really would have liked to see him against Kansas State, if I'm being honest. I don't hate that he didn't go. I don't hate that he took the red shirt and didn't play in the Rudy Poo Texas Bowl or whatever. It doesn't bother me any. But I would have liked to see him go again. But this is more on Miles Brennan and Walker Howard being hurt for me. You have one quarterback on your roster right now that's not hurt. And if you think that that's okay, you'll wind up in the same position you have been. Jamar Jackson says, I don't know why some people hate the transfer portal, because I see that there's a lot of talented players in the portal. Yep. There is. There surely is. Kenny says, Carl, you make sure you attend the NIL meeting. Gerard Robbins on Facebook says the men and women basketball team is balling out. I agree with that. Jeremiah Phillips also says, Blake, I fell asleep on Space last night, cuh. Yeah, bro, I was done, dude. I was done, bro. Derek Franklin says, do you think we focus on linebacker or DB and running back in the transfer portal? I think I think we're going to have to focus everywhere. Look, one of our great sponsors here, and that's what I was just reading. Carol Foss has sent me a text, says he would add an additional $2,000 to our gift card giveaway if we hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the month. That will increase, that will increase the gift card thing. So look, So look, there's a very good chance that we're about to give away 3, 4, 500. Guys, there's a chance we're about to give away $700 here. Okay, and look, I gotta talk about my good friend Carol. I gotta talk. We just gotta talk about him. Pull this up. But yeah, Carol is giving us the go ahead to do that. So look, guys, we're legitimately about to give away a bunch of money here. You need to go get everybody to subscribe. Everybody needs to go to subscribe. Speaking of our good friend Carol False over at State Farm, guys, you might not know, or you may even know our good friend Carol False over at State Farm and his great services. He is a great and good neighbor after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol False has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Louisiana. So call State Farm agent Carol False today at 985-395-4300 for your surprisingly great rates today on auto, home, and life insurances. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer, and all applicants are subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. All right. I really appreciate Carol doing that. That's huge. That's huge. I absolutely love it. Oh, I didn't. I said 2,000. I meant 200. I didn't know. I know he said 200. That's my bad. Did I say 2,000? I don't think I said 2,000, but if I did, I meant 200. He's going to add 200 to the gift card giveaway. Ryan Thibodeau says, I want that AYS rate. Well, call Carol Falls, bro. 985-395-4300. Ryan, call him right now. Call him. He'll give you that rate. Ryan, call him right now. Call him. Call him. Call him. Dustin Jenkins says, will John Emery be back next year? Looks like it. Yeah, it certainly looks like it. That'll be huge for AY. I mean, huge for AYS. Huge for LSU. Derek Franklin says, hashtag ask Blake, do we hit the portal for running back? Yeah, we already talked about that. Blake Burgo says, someone told me Trevor is leaning towards Florida, but I don't know how accurate that is. I've seen him in person numerous times, and his ceiling is extremely high. I hope he lands with us. Well, his brother is in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's not that far from Gainesville. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Would not surprise me one bit. Mom and dad can go and watch him and Trevor play football on a Saturday and a Sunday. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Lamar Williams, big pressure, says sending prayers to Wiggins after that terrible accident. Man, absolutely. Nookie says, you said 2,000. Craig already clipped it and put it all over Twitter. I definitely said 2,000. That's my fault. I didn't mean to say 2,000. I meant to say 200. Hey, just because you can open doors now does not mean you can come on Daddy's show every time. Okay, go find Mama. Go. Close the door. I love you. I love you. Come here, Ben. Come here. Come here, Ben. Ben. Look, I meant to say 200. So let me add to this. We are going to do a $100 gift card giveaway for this YouTube subscription thing. I didn't mean to say 2,000. So 200. Carol Falls at State Farm is going to be adding on $200 to that. And for me, I'm going to be adding on to that if we continue to get more subscribers. So go subscribe. So that's my fault. Craig Schilling says, State Farm has been great for me. They were the only insurance company to replace my roof when no one else would. That's huge, man. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Brett Garofola says, fell asleep with my earpiece on during spaces. Yeah, those things can go long, man. I always leave before I fall asleep, though. At least I try. Phantom 70815 on YouTube says, do you fault the players or coaching staff for players being academically ineligible? Huh. Well, I don't blame either one of them. I don't blame one of them more than the other because you're still failing the classes. But let me say this. You're getting paid a lot of money to make sure kids don't fail. Like, kids are going to try to get away with anything humanly possible. It's your job to make sure that they don't do that. Quentin Skinner being out because of academics, your long snapper being out because of academics, then John Emery doing that. But see, here's the problem with John Emery. John Emery didn't fail a class, y'all. John Emery dropped the class, which then made him not a full-time student, which, that created its own problem in its own way. I don't think that John Emery knew that dropping the class would be this big of a deal. So, and how do you go half of a semester not knowing that the kid dropped the class? How? Adam B says, like a good neighbor, Carol will be there. That he will. So that's huge, man. I definitely said 2,000. Everybody keeps getting on my ass. Justin Jenkins says 136 to 73 right now on Facebook. If you know, you know. What did I say? Really? I didn't know that. Let's see. I wonder why. I wonder why. All right, so put inside the comments, what do you think is going to happen Monday? What do you think is going to happen Monday on with this national title game? What do y'all think? I'll tell you what I think, but just start firing in your questions. We'll get a couple of these in here, but what do you think is going to happen Monday? On YouTube, new LSU jersey on YouTube says, same way Coach O didn't know about Stingley's surgery, he wasn't in tune. Like, how do you well, and that's part of the Stingley's too, not telling their head coach, but and look, that's some form of entitlement too. I feel like the Stingley's think that they had. And I don't mean that in the wrong way at all, but you got to tell your head coach like what's going on with you. Right? Like you can't just run out there and do whatever you want. But look, I mean, yeah. Let's see. Slat that slime 777. We're gonna have to come up with another better name for you there. I'm just gonna call you Slat. On YouTube, he says it's all good. Talking about Quincy Wiggins. Yeah, Quincy Wiggins seems to be a little bit. I say okay, mods of, or within the whole grand scheme of things. So damn scary, bro. Willie Kane Ward says, I don't know if I'm late, but Booty just tweeted a locked side eyes. Could it be that receiver from Georgia, from what coach from Georgia or what? Guys, I don't know what. Look, we said this Tuesday that Cortez Hankton was leading that room. It is not finalized yet. Pen and paper ain't there yet. All right, we got a couple of these comments flying in. Julius says Bama wins. Barrett Granger says Georgia with the W. Gerald says I just got in here. What did you do? I said 2,000 instead of 200 on a gift card giveaway. Orlander says on YouTube Georgia by 15. Pooh Bear says Georgia is going to fumble the bag. Regular season champs for life. Prove me wrong. Terry Delahousse says I hate to say it, but Bama. And Jay Phillips says UGA wins and Cortez announced to LSU. Look, I it's hard for me to and Nookie says as long as Bama's the betting underdog, Saban got that delicious rat poison. And I agree with that. Like as much as I hate that, as much as I absolutely hate that, he's not wrong. Nookie's not wrong. And it's tough for me to pick against Georgia. I mean, pick against Alabama. Let's talk about on the field. I said this before the SEC championship game. I said this after the SEC championship game, and I'm going to stick with it. I don't believe that Stetson Bennett IV, the law firm of Stetson Bennett, can lead you to a national title. At the end of all of this, I cannot visibly – come on, buddy. I cannot visibly see Stetson Bennett hoisting the trophy to be the national champion for Georgia. I just can't see it. It's not saying it won't happen. But God dog, man, at some point, Kirby's going to have to win this thing. At some point, Kirby's going to have to win this thing. And I just don't think that Stetson Bennett is the guy that gets him over that hump. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Stefan says 34-31 Bama. Well, let me tell you this. What's crazy is that everybody, it seems it seems a little bit split. Joe says All-American game today at noon. Yep. Ryan Thibodeau says Bama wins as usual. Jarrett Allen says Georgia, if they ever get their hands out of their rear ends, should win 1980. Steve Bean said Bama by 2000, Wait by 20. Y'all know what I meant. Come on. So I just misspoke. Look, I see everybody saying, or having this debate, but I can't envision it. I know that Georgia's defense is really good. I just have a hard time betting against Saban. Like a very, very hard time betting against Saban. Gerard says Georgia's overrated. I wouldn't say that they're overrated. I mean, guys, they're playing for a national title. I mean, here's another thing. I said this last night on Twitter Spaces. We got to be a little bit man, I don't know. We got to be a little bit more we got to use our adjectives better. Right? Like a team playing in the national title is not overrated. Right? Like Georgia's not overrated. They deserve to be there. But I just don't know if Kirby, quite honestly, has the coaching mentality to beat Nick Saban. Unless Kirby tells Todd Monken and Dan Lanning and all his staff, I'm going to let you coach and let you do what you do, they're not going to win. They're not going to bully Alabama. They're just not going. They're not going to. Oh yeah, about Quincy Wiggins, man, that's nuts. That kid is so lucky. That kid is so lucky. Nathan says hashtag ask Blake with offense and defensive coordinator field now. What other positions need to be filled on the staff? Just wide receivers coach. Just wide receivers coach. Alejandro Escobar says, did y'all know Justin Jefferson beat triple coverage? Excuse me, Mr. C. King. It is quadruple coverage and scored a touchdown. Quadruple coverage. That may can we take some time to recognize that Steve Ensminger was calling 2-man routes and Justin Jefferson was one of the only receivers going out in a route, and Joe Burrow threw a touchdown pass to him in quadruple coverage? Y'all trying to tell me that Burrow wasn't good in 18 when he had a 2-man route concept, and y'all used to blame that shit on Les, but you never defend Burrow in doing that. Come on, bro. Nookie says Kirby plays so conservative and still manages to step in at least once in every big game. At least once. At least once. At least once. And it just comes to a part where, you know, when it's Kirby's probably going to do it again. Craig Schilling says Kirby worked with Nick for all those years, and he should know what Nick wants to do on defense. This is on Kirby's inability to be a good coach and outcoach Nick. If there's anybody, you're right. If there's anybody that knows, it should be Kirby. Guys, he goes back with him all the way to LSU. He should know better, but he doesn't. And here's another thing. Nick Saban knows Kirby Smart well. You know, the whole Devontae Smith touchdown, telling Brian Daboll, Nick, you know, there was the little audio thing they did, and Nick told Brian Daboll, he goes, hey, just letting you know Kirby's about to run cover 2, so call your play accordingly. They call 4 verts, and we all know the rest is history. Nick capitalizes on Kirby Smart because he knows him. Does the same thing to Lane. I mean, look, obviously Jimbo was the first guy to beat him, but there's a reason he's 27-1 against assistants, because he knows them. And he has better players, sure. Carl Dunn says, will LSU hire a new general manager? I saw some people talking about that. I'll be honest, I hadn't really heard much on that. And I know that there were some things floating around there about some guy from Georgia Tech, but I can be honest, ain't nobody. Look, he might be the guy. But I haven't been able to get that one confirmed. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. But there is some things flying around there about that. Ryan Thibodeau says, hashtag Ask Blake, has Pete's left the building yet? I'm sure he has. Gerard Robbins says, Georgia, choke under pressure, then. Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah, you're right. Ty Boudreaux says, Burrow had the accuracy to throw players open when they were covered. Yeah, in quadruple coverage. Like, do you realize sometimes I really just don't feel that me and some fans watch the same game. And I understand some people are just casual football fans, and I understand it. But, guys, if 4 defenders are around Justin Jefferson when he catches a touchdown pass and you're blaming Joe Burrow for throwing that when there was only one other man out in coverage, I mean, for hell's sake. I mean, instead of putting players out in route, Steve Ensminger was putting players, into block because Ed Orgeron wanted to be just like Pete Carroll. Come on, man. Pete Carroll is, I don't know. I mean, he's been using his AARP card for the last 15 years. Now, it doesn't look like that. He's a good coach. But, brother, this ain't the 90s. This ain't the early 2000s. Shit's innovative now. Uh-oh. Alejandro Escobar says ATN has been trolling LSU fans all week like he's committing to LSU today. I hope he realizes we own Florida. Oh, no. Gerald says, did O'Brien get the Jacksonville Jaguars job? I've seen a couple of tweets about it. Yeah, it looks like he's trending there. Pooh Bear says, Burrow makes coaches, O-line, and wide receivers look good. Did you know Chase was slow and couldn't see the ball? Yeah. How stupid is that? Terry says, I have my doubts about Kirby's in-game coaching, i.e. right before a half against Michigan and others to boot. Yeah. Guys, I don't disagree, man. I don't disagree. I just can't. If I'm putting money on it, I'm going to take Alabama. If I'm putting money on it, I'm taking Alabama. And as much as I hate that, I'm not going against. I'm not going against. Just not going against that man. Dane Bergeron says hashtag Ask Blake. You played the game. You're going to have a different perspective than those that know football from a playing video game. Yeah, I just don't understand. And I understand that part, but I just don't understand when you see four guys around somebody and he catches a ball. What did you think that was? Anyway, let's get to a couple more and then we'll get out of here. Gerald also says you quit saying that Steve called the offense. Brady called that offense. I got it from a source on Twitter. No. That wasn't Gerald. I'm talking about in 2018 before Joe Brady was ever there. That happened in 2018. Tommy Poole says, I prefer to watch LSU football games through my purple and gold colored glasses. Thank you very much. Okay. I love it. Carl Dunn says Chase needs 13 yards to break Bengals single season receiving yards record. It's nuts. Nookie says Burrow opted out of Sunday's game and is a quitter. There you go. Let me tell you something, man, and I hope that all of you are the same way as me. I am so done about talking about this opting out shit. I am so done with it. I am more done with talking about opting out in NIL than I think that I've ever been. Like, Joe Burrow is not a quitter. And I'm sorry for everybody that loves college football and the purity of college football. The Texas Bowl, I'm sorry, doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. It just doesn't. You can moan and whine and complain. Yes, it does, Blake. It's LSU football. It's a perception. No, it's your perception because how you go to work next week and how your emotions are triggered about LSU football. Grow up, Peter Pan. Grow up. If LSU wins or loses, should not affect your entire week. God gave you creation. Don't let that relatively affect your entire week. I love LSU more than anybody, but I am not going to allow LSU athletics to worry about me and my son spending quality time together. Come on, man. I am legitimately tired of people saying that someone's a quitter. Like, dog, I would assume historically through our nation that majority of you are closer to making $50,000 a year than you are to making $100,000 to $200,000 a year. That's facts. So let me explain something to you. For you to get $1 million, you would have to work for the next 20 years. For a player like Caleb Williams, it takes him putting his name into the transfer portal to do that. What if his parents or one of his parents was only making $50,000 a year, hypothetically? There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But his parent would have had to work 20 years, technically longer, to make $1 million. And this kid can go into the transfer portal and do that, or not even to go into the transfer portal, but can make that through NIL deals. And you're worried about this man's money. Stop money watching. Because let me tell you what I'm going to start doing. If you start taking a new job and I see you taking a new job on LinkedIn or whatever, I'm going to start asking you how much money you're making. And before you start freaking out, I'm going to say, well, what is it? Look, man, I mean, you're worried about how much Caleb Williams is making. Why does it matter? How much is everybody making here? Put how much your annual salary is in this chat. Let me put mine in here. I'll put in my annual salary. Let me put in my salary. Yeah, buddy. Oh, come here, boy. I just put in my annual salary in the chat. Ben, how much you make a year?
Ears.
Ears? I like that hat, boy. Hey, who is that?
I you.
Put your hat on. No. If you're going to put it on backwards, put it like this, okay?
No.
You want it frontwards like daddy? Hey, who is that?
LSU.
Go five. All right. Scott says he makes $100,090. Penn Jones says he makes $280,000. Penn, if you're making that much, holla at a player. I make $1 billion annually for everybody that knows. Roderick Dugas says he makes $580,000 a year. Jerry Carter says, well, if I win that gift card, I'll be sitting around 13,700. Oh, God. Ryan Thibodeau says $12 annual. You get my point? You get my point? And get my drift? Come on, man. Anthony on YouTube says, have you heard anything about Cortez Huntington possibly being the next wide receivers coach $5 gift card? Yes. Nothing is finalized yet. Nothing is finalized there yet. All right. So let me just end this argument here. And let's see. Nookie says, oh, heck, I launched a rant. Yes, sir, you did. He's fine. Hold on. No, she don't get to come in here and make you leave. Hey. All right. That's not fair to daddy. All I'm saying is this about this whole money thing, and then we're gonna get out of here. Are y'all okay with me? Come on. You're looking at another man's money. Marvin Mackey says he's a mama's boy. Hell yeah, he's a mama's boy. Hell yeah, this little dude's a mama's boy. Come here, you gotta go and tell him bye. You left him out. Oh, no. Look at your hands. Look at your hands. We need to go wash your hands. You got chocolate all over. All right, guys, we'll see y'all again not tomorrow, Monday, or maybe Monday. No. You can't wipe your hands on that, buddy. You got chocolate all over your hands. Don't cry. Don't cry. You're a big boy. Come on. Big boys don't cry. All right. Tell them bye-bye. All right, we'll see y'all Monday or something like that. Later. Say bye-bye. See you later, alligator.